Last night at the Violence Party, we saw the Ascent winner and the Outlaw Cup winner square off as Liam Slater faced Lou Nixon. Lou getting the win with that very submission. Liam not very happy with the ref's decision, thinks that was a choke. Liam showing the battle wounds tonight here at Rise with that black eye. Michael Caden put the Hardcore Championship on the line against Boy One, and Boy One picked up his first ever singles championship here at Rise. However, Rory Coyle and Shreddy were on hand to ruin the celebrations, this time backed up by the newest member of their wretched refuse, Dara Diablo, who has aligned himself with the group. Boy One beaten by the numbers game after an incredible fight, but tonight he gets another shot at the Rise Hardcore Championship. Joe and Darko took on B.A. Rose and Jack Turner, teaming for the very first time in a tornado street fight. Big Joe almost ending up on the motorway outside Eiger at one point. Darko came in to replace Casanova Valentine, who couldn't get into the UK due to passport issues. The Deathmatch Outlaws pick up the win, and Big Joe sent quite the message to Casanova Valentine.
Fucking slaughter! Can't even sort out your fucking passport, you fucking fat prick!
It seems like this rivalry is far from over. Leonardo Darwin, accompanied by the TWAT, faced the human meat grinder Shlak and was humiliated and beaten all over the Eiger studios. Shlak is ready for war tonight in the Games of Death against Big Effin' Joe. Heidi Katrina made a very impressive debut in the Women's Wrestling Underground tournament, beating Casey in the first round. Casey showed a lot of heart and a lot of fight after working hard to qualify for this tournament. She can hold her head up high after that one, but Heidi very much has her eyes on the Women's Championship and winning the Women's Wrestling Underground tournament. Jean Money faced Priscilla for the Rise Championship, and after taking Jean to the absolute limit, Priscilla fell to the Ainsley Lariat. Ready, steady, cooked. After the match, Jean let the Rise faithful know that he's had some bad news. He's going to give up the Rise Championship, which means it will be on the line tonight in the Games of Death.
kings in the country. He had to write a handwritten letter to the Queen to get in the country. I would love to see that letter. No Queen, only Shlak. But we're going to put on the best show we've ever had. This is going to be historical tonight. Let's hear some noise for the Games of Death and all those competitors going to put their bodies on the line tonight. And let's bring out someone who is very capable of doing my job tonight. Returned last night after a few years. Let's introduce to you Jason Santiago! Fucking rise! Santiago! 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 Mind me calling Santiago. Santiago! And I am very pleased to hand over this microphone. You're in safe hands tonight. Let's hear it for Santiago, and let's have a great night tonight for the Games of Death. Thank you very much. I'll be hanging around all night. Take it away, Santiago. And ladies and gentlemen, before I get started, let's make some noise for the man, Danny O'Doherty!
The Twisted Transistor enters the Games of Death. Kam Solas has been a big part of Rise over the past few years, but for the first time we're seeing him stepping into our much lauded Deathmatch division. How is Kam Solas going to cope in a very different battleground? We are moments away from finding out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot thank Kam Solas enough. He was the last minute replacement for the injured Clint Margera. He has made his way here with no notice. So what a star, what an absolute star. And now, the next entrant into the Games of Death, please. Representing the Deathmatch Outlaws, this is Danny Darko!
Card subject to change. We were getting ready to see Clint Margera in action tonight, and Kam Solas stepping into the fray and stepping right into a Bud Light war zone against the Bud Light King, Danny Darko.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Danny Darko!
Games of Death officially underway here at the Eiger. At the sound of the bell, the war begins, and, well, forget the bell! Solas just throws caution to the wind! A last-minute addition to this tournament, and he is just going to come out swinging! He's in there with Danny Darko, who knows these light tubes like the back of his gnarled, broken hands! Kam Solas known to fly high. He's got to hit a very different high tonight in this one. I hope his pain threshold can reach the heights that his moonsaults can. Swing and a miss. Darko with that alcohol-soaked right hand. Solas really the unique party in this one, as we see the back of Danny Darko already bloodied up. Bloody hell! And this is where Kam Solas is going to change the game in the Deathmatch tournament.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit!
Much as the Rise faithful love the Bud Light King, there is a special energy behind Kam Solas tonight. Lastminute.com replacing a Deathmatch icon. Not one to disappoint. Danny Darko with the barbed wire in the face of Kam Solas. As we expected, the games of death start hard and start gory. Danny Darko getting an immediate advantage over Kam Solas, despite Solas coming out the block swinging. Very different type of keyboard warrior for Solas to combat this evening. Off the ropes, into the corner, and there you see another contraption of destruction by the feet of Kam Solas. Cameron's feet are deadly enough, it seems. Oh, this has been all action from before the bell. Spine buster. Spine in the Eiger, and it's a 2.5. Rise faithful, coming alive for the games of death. We didn't get one of these last year, the whole thing of the world fucking shutting down. We're here tonight, and 12 months of pent-up frustration are going to come out in a barbed wire cloud of dust. Straight into the corner. A wrestling move from Danny Darko. Imagine such a thing, it's a 2 count. Darko is never going to be confused for a technical wrestling expert. No future pure champion here, just pure violence on behalf of Darko. It's Kam Solas is finding out firsthand. Big kick to the head of Darko. What's Solas thinking? Twisting moonsault meant nothing. Not as flashy as a twisting moonsault, but certainly just as effective. Death Valley driver onto the light tubes. That'll do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Danny Darko!
He got knocked down, and he got up again. Danny Darko marches on in the games of death. Solas calling Danny back into the ring. A show of great respect between these two. You've got to give it to Kam Solas. 4 hours ago, he was sat on his sofa at home. Got the call. Can you join us at the Games of Death? And he puts on a performance like that. My hat is off to Kam Solas, who certainly proved tonight his style is whatever you want it to be. Style is whatever he wants it to be, rather. Great showing by both men. Danny Darko advances in the games of death.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the next Games of Death match? Then without further ado, can I have the first combatant, please?
Manhunter is in the Eiger, and he is dressed for war. A standout here at Rise.
Make some noise! Your next Games of Death entrance, B.A. Rose!
He may be about to carve out a place in Rise wrestling history.
And now for his opponent.
We want it by the clock, northeast, running red, running bullet to your head. You can strike, you can shoot, the most of fucking down, left, right, we're gonna get you fucking up. We're gonna get you moving on, we're gonna do videos, go, flying back, we're gonna make me fire, no, never leave, never go, who's gonna fucking know?
Big Lou Nixon!
Nobody has had a career turnaround quite like Big Lou Nixon. During the awful 18 months where everything stopped, Lou Nixon got started. Started getting into shape, started trimming down, started beefing up. He is in the greatest condition of his wrestling career. And he stormed it in the Outlaw Cup last time we were here at the Eiger. He has eyes on the Games of Death tournament. I believe this is the most dangerous Big Lou Nixon has ever been. But at the same sentiment, he's across the ring from the Manhunter, who is many years removed from being the lackey of Sober. If you know your Rise history, you'll know what we're talking about. B.A. Rose, his own man now, and a Manhunter. Not afraid to take a beating and give one back. He's built like a bollard and he will ram into you. And off we go. Heavy strikes from the off. The height game obviously going to Lou Nixon. B.A. Rose, like a fire plug, just battering Nixon. Roughhousery from the off with these two, these heavy strikes, and I think that you don't want to get into a deep striking game with Lou Nixon. That MMA training, he somehow managed to twist into deathmatch style, belly to back suplex into 2 count. B.A. Rose nearly knocking over some of the apparatus of destruction. She will go apparatus of anarchy. It's a better soundbite. Oh, kick misses, and there's Lou Nixon wiped out with that post. And good opportunity for B.A. Rose here to start to do some damage. Light tube across the head of Big Lou. And just like that, B.A. Rose neutralizes Big Lou. Loads to prove for B.A. Rose here tonight. This is not his first war in this environment, but certainly one that's important for him to stand out as a singles competitor here at Rise and march to the beat of his own drum. Fight's gone immediately into the Rise faithful. B.A. Rose is planning all kinds of evil for Lou Nixon. A lot of love from the Rise faithful for Lou Nixon. The winner of this one advances in the Games of Death tournament. We've already seen Danny Darko punch his ticket to the next round. Danny's got a good bit of time now to knock back some Bud Lights, to let those wounds heal, and let these two kick shit out of each other. On Rose! Countering the MMA kicks with nom nom nom. He bit his leg, basically. He's a heavyweight with movesets belonging to a cruiserweight with stuff like that. B.A. Rose throws caution to the wind and throws his body on Nixon. The Eiger Studios rocking to the sound of Rise tonight. B.A. Rose has wiped out Lou Nixon on that unforgiving concrete. It's the old cliche, there's not a lot of padding, there's no padding out there, just the cold, unforgiving, broken promises of the Eiger Studios floor. Now complete with bits of light tubes, you can pick out your shoes on the way home. B.A. Rose with that tennis. Make your own comments about love meaning nothing. Nixon for game, set, and match over B.A. Rose. Nixon's turned the tide in this one. 100% of the Rise faithful behind the reformed Big Lou Nixon, the Outlaw Cup winner. Down to Danny O'Doherty, who is ringside here at Rise.
Thank you very much, Tom. I just wanted to come on to say what a performance we are seeing from B.A. Rose right here, stepping up at the last moment to face the Outlaw Cup winner, Lou Nixon.
In fact, if you missed the Outlaw Cup, I highly recommend you take time to find it on our socials. A night of devastation from the Outlaw Cup. Oh, look at this. Is that... It's Uncle Ralph. Lou Nixon and Uncle Ralph forming an alliance here. Oh no! Ralph! What are you thinking, Ralph? Nixon wanted to give Ralph a shot in the Deathmatch tournament. Former Rise Hardcore champion Ralph. Missing his shot there, and I don't think B.A. Rose is going to miss this. To quote Damien Rice, it ain't hard to fall when you float like a cannonball! Light tube in every open orifice of Lou Nixon, courtesy of B.A. Rose. That's going to be no! Almost instinct. Lou Nixon kicks out. Almost instinct. Oh my God. Lou Nixon absorbing the full weight of B.A. Rose and multiple light tubes shattering. Not just breaking, but shattering across his person. Another weapon of mass destruction in the hands of B.A. Rose, that light tube nunchuck. We saw it during the Outlaw Cup. We're seeing it again tonight at the Games of Death, and B.A. Rose could be looking for that double underhook pile driver. Used to great effect in the past. Nixon saw it coming. And the guttural Lou chants firing up Big Lou Nixon. Oh, that'll do. Strikes, and there we go. Got him both. Wiping out B.A. Rose. They kicked to the head. I genuinely thought Rose was out. Lou Nixon with precision struck the head of B.A. Rose. But the gutsy B.A. keeps on being. Nixon with that look in his eyes of what do I have to do to put this man down. Nixon, you can see the cogs turning in the head, and is that a... Oh, it's a shin pad loaded pins with thumbtacks. Oh my god, that would have been fatal. A swing and a miss though, and B.A. Rose, and they release suplex onto the plunder. Oh, it's 2.5. The crowd have come around to B.A. Rose at this point. You can feel the tide turning. Rose really proving himself in this match, swinging with the light tubes to no avail. And a forearm smashes the light tube over the head of Rose. Across the head, B.A. Rose seems to be out on his feet. And Nixon grabs the remains of the day. More of that light tube plunder. Rose called for it. And Nixon let him have it. But Rose shakes his finger as if to say, I ain't dead yet. Nixon, that thumbtack shin guard, is loading up the boot. Oh, and now Rose saying no. Oh my. B.A. Rose absorbing these kicks with 100+ thumbtacks piercing his chest. Oh, and there it is, the rear naked choke, the one-fingered defiance, and B.A. Rose, the life leaving his body. Is Rose out? This is referee's discretion. He's out.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by submission, representing the Deathmatch Outlaws, Big Lou Nixon!
B.A. Rose, with one finger, was defiant to the end. But the win goes to Big Lou Nixon. This incredible turnaround in fortune for Big Lou continues here at Rise. The most dangerous Lou Nixon we have ever seen continues his march in the games of death. B.A. Rose back to his feet, a bloody mess. Already back to his feet though, you've got to give credit, and I think Lou Nixon might be thinking the same thing. A show of respect by Lou Nixon to B.A. Rose, who gave it everything in this one.
Let's hear it for these two great boys, B.A. Rose and Big Lou Nixon.
Lou Nixon now punches his ticket in the Games of Death tournament.
is to have been asked to commentate over this match. Michael Caden versus Iceman.
And now for his opponent, please.
And if you know anything about Rise history, you will know what this match means to Michael Caden. But not only to Michael Caden, but to Rise. Here's Iceman with that staple gun, accompanied by his son Jack.
Introducing at this time, being accompanied by his son Shlak, the hardcore legends,
Michael Caden can't believe that this moment is happening.
Here he is, Jake. He's Jake. He's Jake.
I'm trying to balance using the camera and commentating at the same time, but I wouldn't have it any other way to see this live.
ladies and gentlemen, introducing at this time, the hardcore legend, Iceman!
It was only a month ago that Jack, not Jake Santiago, Jack, the son of the European hardcore icon Iceman, made his professional wrestling debut, stepping in there with Leonardo Darwin.
Generations of hardcore Iceman!
Jack was raising money for a great cause, but Leonardo Darwin, as always, sunk to some disgusting lows to get the win. He almost fractured Jack's skull after the match and left both father and son laying in the middle of the ring. And I spoke to Iceman earlier, and he said he could not wait to get back in the ring after what happened last month with his son Jack. But he's in here tonight, not with an arsehole like Leonardo Darwin. He's in here with someone who he respects very much. And here's Iceman and Caden locking up. The dream, but it's when the ring's surrounded in light tubes. And it's not the Ray Gray Community Centre anymore. This is the Games of Death in Leeds. The Deathmatch Grandad Iceman got back into the ring after we invited him into the Games of Death 1. He was retired up until that point. But after seeing what Rise was presenting, giving a platform to Deathmatch wrestling in the UK, which Iceman had paved the way for. Old school meets the new school, but tonight he's against Mickey Deathmatch, the homegrown connoisseur of Deathmatch wrestling. We've We've all made the jokes, we've all talked about when Caden wrestled Pac. But to Caden, this is the only thing since Pac. Iceman sending Caden through that board of light tubes. This will mean more to Caden tonight if he can beat Iceman than it ever did wrestling Pac all them years ago. Jack at ringside, urging his dad to keep on top while he's got this momentum against Michael Caden. And now Caden's got that staple gun that Iceman brought out. And he's got a 8x10 of himself in his back pocket. He's about to staple it to Iceman's lip. But 8x10 of Michael Caden is stapled to Iceman's lip. And that's how you advertise the 8x10s. My lip here is hurting just watching that. Oh, now he's gonna give him the receipt. Stapled his own shirt, his own rise vest to his head, ripped it out. Caden with his derby out live at the Games of Death with his own vest stapled to his head. And the blood is pouring from Mickey Big Dick. But Iceman is rolling here. This is what made Iceman famous, these death matches. Paving the way for British deathmatch. Michael Caden has all the respect in the world, but when you stood face to face in the Games of Death, respect means nothing. You will do what it takes to get through to the next round, to get through to the final. Oh, light tube over the head. Iceman is a grandad, as we've heard. Deathmatch grandad. Michael Caden just turned 30. If you'll find him in a pub or on a night out, he'll try and tell you he's 28, but he's 30-year-old, and Iceman is about to breathe this jug off his head. Oh! Now Iceman with that running knee into the corner. We all know what's coming next. R.I.P. Michael Caden. I've been on the receiving end of this myself. I know exactly how this feels. Kicking out at one. Deathmatch, Hogan. Michael Caden kicking out at one. Off the cannonball from Iceman. You have to give it to Michael Caden. If there's one thing he can do, it's survive. We've seen him do it against everybody in Rise. Survive till the bitter end. He's never tapped out. He's only passed out. And now he's armed with that barbed wire baseball bat. Oh, and a drop toe hold from Iceman. That's one of the moves he will have taught us many years ago at WZW, but now he's pounding away at the head of Michael Caden. And look at the gash on Iceman's arm, and now he's cracking that barbed wire baseball bat on the head of Caden. Is he going to tap out for the first time in Rise? Not quite enough to make Michael Caden tap out, we know. His theme tune says it all. I got to get through this, Daniel Bedingfield, and that's exactly what every Caden match is. But look at this, can he get through? Barbed wire in his mouth, and he's topping out. Iceman goes into the final.
Your winner by submission, Iceman!
And Caden taps out for the first time in a Rise ring. Look at this. There's nothing I can say. Let's just let these highlights do the talking.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for these magnificent warriors. They need you right now. Let's hear it for Caden and your winner, Iceman! Thank you very much, each and every one of you. Yeah, don't go behind the speaker. You know, I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. 46 years of age, 2 grandchildren. I've been doing this for over 22 years. You know, apparently I'm through to the final. How the fuck that happened, I'll never know. But you know, we're all about shoots. We know what shoots are, don't we? I'm beat up. I'm old. I don't know why I'm here. I must fucking love it. But you know, I look in that back and I see men like Big Joe. I see men like Michael Caden. I see men like you, Nixon, Darko. I see young boys like B.A. Rose. What the fuck? Where did he come from? And you know, we see men like Shlak. Fucking hell. And yet I'm still here doing this for a fucking idiot. Well, you know, we shooting. I hate them fucking. We've been a real, aren't we? I have to win this. Go on! That after all these years, it was for fucking something. You know, I don't mean to sound like Ric Flair, but with a tear in my eye. When all of them in the back, when they were sat watching Raw and SmackDown and Nitro, I was up and down the country and I was in Europe and I was bleeding like a fucking bitch to try and put Deathmatch wrestling on the map. When people called me a glorified backyard wrestler, I went out and I showed them, and I fucking done wrist locks, headlocks, takedowns, you fucking name it. But I still tournament I ever be in. No, that's for real. My wife won't let me.
Yes, she will. Yes, she will. Yes, she will. Yes, she will. Yes, she will.
But tonight, I have to win the whole fucking thing. But prove to each and every single one of you that I'm still the fucking best. But more importantly, to prove to myself that I can still fucking do it. So while this might be the last time you ever see Iceman, I've got to win the fucker. So Jack, as much as it's a dream you being out there, cheering me on, being out there with me, cheering me on, son, you have to miss this next one out.
Oh, Jackie boy!
You've got to miss this one out, Jack. And you've got to let me prove to myself, without looking at you, that I can still fucking do it.
Great to see Shlak here as part of the Games of Death. Fueled by pints and a big chippy tea after spending the night in Leeds with Danny O'Doherty. I think we all saw the pictures on socials of Shlak enjoying a few pints here in Yorkshire.
Did the Queen accept your letter and was like, yeah, that's fine?
Unfortunately, yes.
We also understand that Shlak had to write a very special letter to the Queen in order to get into the country.
I had to write a handwritten fucking letter to the Queen in order to get back in this goddamn country.
And God bless the Queen, there is no royalty, only Shlak.
Well, I saw Tiger King during lockdown and I was like, fuck me. That's a little bit too close to home. So the mullet had to go. Oh my fuck. Then without further ado, this will be your last first round Games of Death tournament match. Can I have the first combatant, please?
This is fucking independent wrestling!
Ladies and gentlemen, entering the Games of Death, fucking
In 2019, Big Joe made it all the way to the finals of the Games of Death tournament. This year, he's looking to do it proper, but he has quite the roadblock standing in his way of the next round.
Ladies and gentlemen, Big effing Joe! And now for his opponents. From Schitt's Creek, New
world together. How could we not invite Shlak? The human meat grinder is stepping in there with the toughest bastard in Rise. This is going to be, pardon my language, a fucking war. To the winner, a place in the finals of the Games of Death tournament. A chance to become the Rise World Champion. Big Joe lost that title in the last game of Death tournament to Casanova Valentine. There is some deep mental issues to be addressed in this war against Shlak. We've seen Shlak tearing the scene apart beyond New Jersey, across the wrestling landscape. He brings his very unique form of animalistic rage to the north of England. And is stepping in there with every bit the gatekeeper of Deathmatch wrestling here in the north, in Big Joe. And this is going to be an absolute war. To pardon the cliche, the irresistible force meeting an immovable object. Which is which? I'll let you decide. Rise faithful behind Big Joe, but there's a lot of love for Shlak. Dueling chairs, minutes into this one, and here comes Shlak. He brought his own chair with him. He's getting that through customs. Are you going to stop? Are you going to stop him bringing that through customs? I don't think you are. Shlak is wearing down Big Joe early on into this one. Chair right across the small of the back and across the leg, as we saw just then. One of these men will join Danny Darko. Will join Iceman. And will fight for the right alongside Nixon to become the Rise champion. Big Joe is going to scratch and claw his way there. And there's Joe gouging at the head of Shlak. Rise faithful coming alive for Big Joe, who just drives that ladder of light tubes into the body, the beaten and battered body of Shlak. Big Joe's planning something, clearing a path through the Rise faithful. Joe's got the trolley. You might want to get out of the way. This is looking like it's going to be messy. Oh no, clean up on aisle 1. Shlak learning some terminology tonight. He got trolleyed in Leeds. Some English slang for you, Shlak. Shlak back to his feet almost immediately. I know that Shlak would love the chance to throw that Rise Championship over his shoulder and take it back to New Jersey. Oh. Well, you shouldn't go into a tournament hungry. He's eating the light tube. Chair to the gut of Big Joe. Shlak keeps it simple. Those double axe handles wearing down Big Joe, who is in a very precarious position with Shlak. Leg drop with the light tubes. Shlak knows his way around a deathmatch. It's a 2. I feel like jet lag has made Shlak angrier. Public animal number 1. Bringing the rage in the deathmatch.
Big fucking Joe! Big fucking Joe! Fucking Joe! Big fucking Joe!
This is as gritty and as aggressive as we thought it would be when we saw Shlak was coming to Leeds. We knew it would get ugly. That chair spattered with somebody's blood. I don't know whose. It could be both Joe's and Shlak's. One of these men will have to sweep up whatever's left of them to challenge for the Rise Championship later tonight. I know for Joe it's all about getting back to the top of the mountain. For Shlak though, it's climbing a new one. We haven't seen enough of them tonight. Over here, Shlak, we call them drawing pins. Whatever you call them, they're fucking painful. Suplex into the tacks, the pins, the misery, I guess. And Joe has shifted the momentum in this match. He has made this his game now. Looking to show the import who is boss here in Leeds. What's Joe got in mind? It's a cannonball with the light tubes. Straight into that chest of Shlak that's tattooed and muscled and gnarly and now full of glass, as is his head. An aggression in Big Joe pouring out now. Oh, but Shlak, just like that, changes the game, changes the conversation. Shutting down Big Joe with a lariat in the corner. And there you see those panes of glass ominously propped up against the other 2 corners in the Rise ring. You know for a fact that Shlak and Big Joe have designs on them, but right now Shlak is turning Big Joe into a human buckaroo. Trying to balance as many things on him as he can before he bursts. Nothing to protect your back from pins, from an exploder suplex. 2 count. Shlak looks furious. Why would you want to make Shlak mad and kick out like that? Because you're Big fucking Joe, that's why. Oh, and Shlak is... Oh, Shlak is hungry! Shlak's made a career in America of biting and chewing his way through competition, and he may eat Big Joe. Oh, what a counter by Joe! The classic Greco-Roman throw some fucking drawing pins. It did the job. Shlak was going for a submission and Joe blinding him with pins. And now Shlak blinding Joe with a chair shot. Bounced across the head of Joe. This is rough territory for Big effing Joe, but it's just an effing 2. Can Joe dig any deeper in this one? Back suplex onto the chairs, onto the drawing pins. We've seen Big Joe take the fight to deathmatch stars from the UK and beyond. But you can't help but feel that Big Joe is in the deep water with a guy like Shlak. Shlak himself is worn out by this too. Big Joe's done a number on Shlak in this one. Not able to capitalise on his handiwork, giving Joe some time maybe to shake it off. Well, this ain't Squid Games. This is far more violent. That pane of glass on the back of Joe. What? Which is making it even worse. That glass didn't smash. But you know what? It's almost worse. It's the full weight of that double stained glass raining down on Joe like that. I think Shlak was hoping for it to shatter. He may have shattered some of Joe's bones in the process, though. Death Valley Driver hooks him up. DDT countered. A desperation DDT. They have poisoned Shlak. And the Rise faithful can feel this is the time for Big Joe to get back in the fight.
Come on, Danny.
Joe on spaghetti legs. He and Shlak start swapping bombs again. Heavy back and forth from Big Joe, from Shlak. And a running knee. But Joe would have landed in the pins as well. That wasn't a picnic for Big Joe either. Here's the time now for Joe. Oh my. Oh God.
Big fucking Joe! Big fucking Joe! Big fucking Joe!
Jesus! Joe's taking it to another level. Shlak is out! Oh my God! And Shlak's gonna carry a bag too! That was not a bag for life! You may have broken Shlak's jaw in getting out of it! The shoulders of Joe! The glass didn't smash, but I'm sure the bones broke of Shlak! This is not going to end well. What? Oh, that'll do! Is that a three? Got confirmation from the ref. That was a three!
Big fucking Joe!
The referee wants to be asking himself some questions here, Tom. I could see from where I'm standing now that was not a clear 3 count. And for a match this big, an international dream death match in the games of death, the referee can't be making decisions like that. If he had any questions, he should have let the match continue.
Not even that had kept Shlak truly down, but it was enough to technically win the match for Joe. An absolute war between Joe and Shlak. Shlak was looking to take his leave, and Joe has brought him back. And respect is shown by the human meat grinder. Joe, bloodied and battered, survived the human meat grinder. He is one death match away from becoming Rise champion once again. Maybe about to become the Deathmatch King, and maybe about to become, for the first time in his career, the Rise World Heavyweight Champion. Darko!
And now for combatants number 2.
Whatever you want to call him, he has been on a career roll since Rise returned. Mixing MMA with Deathmatch, he might be the most dangerous competitor in this contest.
And now for combatants number 3.
In the 20th year of Iceman, then with Iceman on top of the Rise Deathmatch world.
And now for your final combatants, please. Making his way into the ring, your 4th entrant to the games of death, Big Fucking Joe! Big Fucking Joe!
He is the bleeding heart and the remorseless conscience of Rise. He has been to the mountaintop, a former Rise champion, and will gut you to get there again. 4 of the toughest motherfuckers that you will find this side of the Atlantic Ocean. Battle worn, bloodied, bruised, but ready to do it one more time with the greatest prize in our company hanging in the balance. 4-way elimination death match rules. Here we fucking go. The Eiger Studios are red hot. The heat in this room, and it's only getting hotter. Iceman, Darko, Nixon, Joe. A ring full of bad intention. Only one will leave as the Rise heavyweight champion. And Darko and Nixon squaring off on the right side of your screen now. Big Joe seeing an opportunity to take Iceman out of the game early. No love lost between all 4 of these men who battled to get to this match tonight. Nixon and Iceman squaring up. You know this is a great honor for Iceman to be in the mix. This is an amazing honor for Lou Nixon, who has said that Iceman is one of the deathmatch stars he looked up to. What a night for Nixon, the youngest in this fight, who knows in order to get what he wants, he has to destroy a bit of his childhood. He's got to take Iceman out, and he's doing a good job of that. Lou Nixon looking to put the hardcore granddad to sleep in a bed of light tubes. Iceman to the outside of the ring. Danny Darko back in along with Big Joe, giving chase. Big Joe and Danny Darko have themselves a potted history here at Rise as well. They know each other incredibly well. There's love and respect in the death and destruction between all four of these men. Here comes Iceman fighting back. Trying to pull Lou out of the ring. Lou ain't going if you don't want to go. Jesus! Joe with that halo of light tube sends Iceman crashing. Darko swinging for the fences. Broken light tubes preceding broken dreams here in this Games of Death final. Darko swinging him like he's Steve Blackman. And here's Big Joe! Suplex into the shards of light tube. Darko's back, wrecked. And now Joe grinding. Darko, the light tube over the head. That bat wrapped in drawing pins, thumbtacks if you will. Being used very effectively by Darko. Oh, Nixon busts through the gate, breaks up the double lariat, and now lighting up Joe and Darko. Big Lou Nixon's been mixing that MMA style with this deathmatch style. He's created a hybrid like no one else. Back suplex, and these aren't normal back suplexes now. These are back suplexes onto bits of broken glass, broken light tubes. The detritus in the ring proving a weapon in itself, and Darko, with no regard for his own well-being, headbutting a light tube into Lou Nixon, now just swatting him with the remains. Swing and a miss for Joe, and here comes Darko. Shades of the American dream. I don't remember that part of Dusty Rhodes' routine, but you get the idea. And now the Bud Light King, preparing the plunder, if you will. Darko could be just moments away, minutes away from his own personal doom, presumably. Slammed into the tire. Make it two. And there's Lou Nixon with that rear naked choke. This took B.A. Rose out of the game earlier tonight. And Danny Darko is gone. We're down to 3 in the Games of Death tournament final. Lou Nixon getting Darko out of the picture. And now he and Big Joe squaring up once more. These two know each other incredibly well too. Big Joe! Death Valley driver onto the remains that tyre covered in glass. It's only a 2 though. And they bloodied and battered Big Joe. They might a double. Oh, and Joe is beside himself. Big Joe hits that DVD better than anyone else. He's going for a 3rd. It took 3.
Lou Nixon has been eliminated.
It took 3.
Final 2, Big Joe and Iceman.
3 Death Valley drivers later, and Lou Nixon is out of the match. And here we go. Iceman, earlier tonight, said this might be his last chance to become a world champion. Iceman is 1 3-count away from standing on top of the hardcore world once again. Can Iceman roll back the years? He is in there against a man who is better than he has ever been in Big Joe. Cannonball into the corner. Big Joe has been the hardcore champion. He's been the Rise World Heavyweight Champion. He has tasted gold before. There is a chip on Big Joe's shoulder that I don't know Iceman can budge. The violence on show here. Big Joe with no regard for the legacy of Iceman, but that's exactly how Iceman would want it. Iceman has been on the receiving end the moment that Lou Nixon got eliminated. Big Joe knows that he is not in there with any normal human being. He's got to work overtime to make sure that Iceman stays down. A crucifix of light tubes may put away. No! Big Joe can't believe it. Iceman, with a shoulder up at 2, will not die. Big Joe pleading with Iceman just to stay down. Sent on. How? I know how. He's one of the greatest of all time. That's how. In 2007, Iceman was the All England champion. He's been chasing another world title ever since. This is the closest he has ever come. And it's gonna be no! Iceman said this is probably his last chance to become a world champion. Chasing that dragon since 2007. This might be the closest we ever come to seeing Iceman as world champion. Big Joe looks unstoppable at this point. Big Joe pleading earlier for Iceman to just stay down. And I kind of get it. Iceman is our deathmatch hero. He's a legend of the business. Iceman moves. A roll up. Iceman has done it.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner of the Games of Death and News.
Iceman is the Rise World Champion! Iceman has done it! To dream the impossible dream! Iceman is the Rise World Champion! And you know what? In one of the toughest matches, in a death match, it took a wrestling move to win the day. It's been over 5,358 days since Iceman has called himself a world champion. Iceman retired from the wrestling world, thinking that he had done it all. But he was coached back by Rise in 2019 to be a part of the Games of Death.
For your Games of Death winner and Rise Wrestling
Iceman returned at the Games of Death in 2019. He lost to Big Joe, but he got the itch once again. It is an itch that he has scratched, and he has scratched and clawed his way. Wait, look at this! Oh my God! It's Dr. Leonardo Darwin. That's Iceman's son. What are you doing? Dr. Leonardo Darwin has got Iceman's son tied up and beaten. Oh, fuck you, Darwin! Oh, wait, no! What are you doing? Demanding a Rise World title match in... Oh, get to fuck! Iceman has been through a war! Darwin blackmailed his way into a Rise World title match! No! I've seen Darwin do some shitty things in Rise! This is at the top of the tree! Leonardo Darwin backdoored his way into a Rise Championship match against Iceman! Iceman! You've got to get out of the way, Iceman! You've got to move, Iceman! Yes! The hardcore legend digging deep! Iceman has survived 2 hardcore wars tonight! Cannonball, oh, it's a 2! Iceman has been bullied into his first world title defense. Oh, it's a low blow! The spear by Darwin! Kick out! Kick out! I agree with the cut part. I agree with the cut part completely. We have seen Dr. Leonardo Darwin sink to some dirty lows here at Rise. I don't think I've seen anything as disgusting as that. Threatening to break his son. if he didn't get an immediate title match. Yeah, you stand over Iceman. Iceman beat many men better than you, Darwin. And the Eiger Studios letting Darwin have it. And this has ruined Carly Simon for me forever. Darwin as your new Rise World Heavyweight Champion. What it won't say is that Dr. Leonardo Darwin is a complete fucking cunt. Oh, fuck off. This is Rise, England's maddest wrestling show.